Now let's set up our website for a mobile device. So I went ahead and I cleared the image display we had here. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make all these other rules that we have. I'm going to make them only apply to a screen size larger or wider than 700 pixels. Now the reason why I want to do this is because if we don't specify this, then all of these rules that we have here, they'll bleed over into the other media query section for the smaller screen size, and we don't want that because then we'll have margin and padding problems just all over the place. And I'm going to go ahead and also indent these just to make it look better. So I just highlighted everything and pressed tab. Okay. So I need this to be a min width. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay. So now we can get started on our mobile design, which usually you would want to start with mobile first. But in this case, since this isn't a course specifically on responsive design, then we're just going to start with what we've worked with the most. So here's close to the break. So what do we want to do first? So first, let's change the navigation. We want everything to be aligned to the center. So let's have a text align. Center. We also want to increase the height to 260 pixels. There we go. It just wasn't far enough yet. So we lost all of our styles, which is fine. We can redo everything. So I'm going to go back up to my nav, and I want all this to stay the same. So let's go back here. Okay. Indent this. I don't want duplicate heights. There we go. Alright, so the next step is we want nav unordered list. And then we're also going to want to do the list items in that. So let's go back up here, see what we have. So I still want these to be in an ordered manner, but first let's do the logo because I'm not going to be able to style everything else unless I have the logo done. So don't want to float this left. The font size needs to maybe come, the font size is fine. I don't need any padding. Well, I might need padding up top. Yeah, I'm going to need padding up top, but not left, just up top. Okay, so now let's give these elements, I want them to have margin of 10 pixels. Some more. Actually, like I said, for this I want to use padding because I don't want to push that border down. So padding of 30 pixels. That's good. But we're going to want to increase the font size of these. So font size. Let's see what we had before. Font size is 20 pixels. That's good. The padding needs to come down a little bit. There, that's good. Alright, we can always adjust some more of that later, but that's pretty good for our navigation. So now let's go down and do our section. That's the next thing. Yes, section. So section, we're going to set the width to 100%. We're also going to, we want this image to be aligned to the center. So let's text line center. There we go. I'm going to add some padding to the sides. Let's do 15 pixels. Let's use a little bit more. That's pretty good. So then I want to add some margin under the image. So margin bottom. Let's do 4 pixels. Let's do a little bit more. 8. That's a little bit more. Because how much do we have up here? I would like this to kind of align with that. So we have 25 on top. So let's just put 25 on bottom. There. So now it's equal. Okay. So now the image and the text I want to be a little bit bigger. And I also want that line height back. So let's see what we had up here. I want to just take exactly this because I liked how it looked. Even if you're on a mobile device, you still want the text to be big enough to read. You can actually maybe use maybe 20. It's a little too big, never mind. Okay, that's good. Alright, so now let's go to the sidebar and style the sidebar. So we want to first text align to the center. There we go. I also want a border on top. So border top. Separate this. And of course I want the padding too. I want the padding top. So just give padding all around, that's fine. Okay, and I also want to specify a height for it. So what was the height before? So the height, 60%. And the width, oh that's right, I need to specify the width. Now the width needs to be 100%. And then the height, let's do 60. Let's try that. It might not work. No. Let's just do 300 pixels. There. Okay. Now we're going to, actually we need to change that. We need to change the link font size. Let's just take this. There we go. Alright, so now let's do the footer. And I still want this to be fixed to the bottom. So bottom 2 pixels. I want the text to be in the center. Also, I want the border. Let's see what we have up here. Pretty much everything I have up here I would just like to use again. So let's just take all of this and just use it again. There. I'm going to save the pen. I'm going to open this and a new page. I'm going to open it in full page, so I save it. Let's open it in full page. Okay, so let's now go and see what it looks like. And this becomes responsive. All right. So it looks pretty good. Could maybe fix this a little more. Let's see what happens when we keep going. That's pretty good. One problem though, I can see here, is if this ever overlaps, then it's going to look bad because you're going to be able to see through it. So I want to prevent that from happening. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a background color of white. I'm also going to take that and put it in the other section as well, because you definitely don't want that to overlap, because it would just look terrible. And I do want to fix this just real quick. Let's bring this up. So let's bring that up. All I want to do is bring up the height a little bit. So let's just change this from that to 240, 230, 240 was good. All right. Let's give it one final look. That looks pretty good. All right. Final code challenge complete. How did you do? Did you need any help? Did you have to look up anything? That's totally fine if you did. I had to look up stuff too. So, I mean, any programmer has to do it. But I would like to see how you solve this problem. So just post a link to your pen in the discussion section. I'll take a look at it, grade you, see how awesome you did. You've come a very long way. I'm so proud of you. You learned so much. You've now officially finished the learning part of this section. And now all we have is the course project left, where you're going to build a clone of the BBC website. So again, I am so proud of you for coming this far, and I'll see you in the next lecture.